Hi, I'm a boy from Red Letter, and today I would like to discuss the holiday pack. This is a holiday learning pack. It was designed specifically for the Easter break, but due to the coronavirus pandemic and us being asked to be at home, the social distancing, we've released it a little earlier and at a discount. So now the pack is going for 3,500 Kenyan shillings and is available to be delivered to your door. So the idea here is that you'll be able to work with your children at home, doing some fun activities where they'll not necessarily feel like they're learning, but the most important part is that they're not going to forget the skills that they've learned over the year, especially for those who have just started preschool. So this pack is designed for children above the age of 3. I say that as just a general guideline because some of you have probably seen my daughter, who's 2.5, doing some of the activities in this pack. So I guess it's for every parent to judge and see what works for your child. So the holiday pack is designed for the Easter break. And so it comes with an Easter story and activity book. The goal of this book is to introduce the Easter story to children, young children, and so it tells a story in very, very easy to read language and also provides for them something to do as you read the story. So it has coloring pages as you read the story. This is Joki's book, so she's already started working on it. And then it also has some other activities. I've shown this before, so I won't go into detail, that have to do with the alphabet. So it's a lot of learning. So this is about matching uppercase to lowercase, and Joki has drawn some lines. She's still learning how to control her pen, so sometimes her lines curve around. And there's different activities around the alphabet, around size. There's some number work, as you can see on this side, and the book goes on to have different activities. I have another video that has more information on this pack, so I won't get into detail with this one. The second item that is in this 4-in-1 pack for the holiday pack is the flashcards. Now these flashcards have been requested a lot. I would not have put them in the holiday pack, but because parents really ask for this, especially parents with school-going children, they would like some flashcards and some things they can work with their kids at home. So even if your child's school has sent you some resources, this is something that you can do that can supplement what your child is learning. So it has the days of the week, it has a calendar to help your child understand the calendar, start to learn the calendar. It has some numbers to do some counting, and it also has the months of the year. And this pack is actually part of the curriculum for 2 to 3. So if you're already on the curriculum for 2 to 3, you don't need this flash pack and posters pack. The third item that is in this holiday learning pack is the writing practice book. Now, this is a workbook that is designed to help children learn to write, and for those who are already writing, to keep them practicing, because we know that the muscles in our fingers, if we don't use them for a long time, they start to stop working, basically. And we want the children to be able to continue with school when we get back, or continue with their homeschooling without the hitch of they have not been writing for a long time. So this practice book basically goes over, again, this is Joki's book, so we've been doing some working on it. I'll just say that with Joki, because she's 2.5, and you could also do this with older children, I use a plastic sleeve on top of her pages. I'll just put that in so that we can reuse the page, because if she's not yet at that level, she will make a mistake and then we won't be able to use it again. These plastic sleeves, they just look like these. I got at Textbook Center. I believe they're available in any stationery store. And I think it cost 100 shillings or less. You can get cheaper than this. And they are good because Once you use them with a whiteboard marker, you can just rub it off and start again. So the beginning, I'll just talk a little bit about the writing practice book and the reader basics pack. So the writing practice workbook starts with a page that helps you know how ready your child is to write. And it starts with, I don't know that you can see that, am I ready to write? And basically, it helps you see whether your child has pen control. So can your child follow the dotted lines to the end? Can they make the curves? And can they do all this? And if you find that they're challenged by this stage, use the plastic sleeve and just keep going over it. So this is the learning part. So for the children who this will teach them how to write, this is a key element in the book. So you keep going over this until the child is able to do it relatively well. And then you can move on to the letters. Now the letters are, I'll remove the plastic sleeve. The letters are in alphabetical order, but for children who are learning to write, I suggest that you pick the letters that are easiest to write. So you could look for like letter L, letter Y, and find any of them. The easier ones, the easier letters like maybe even U, V would be one of the easier ones, and let them start with the easier letters so that they gain some confidence. L and I, where they're just doing 1 or 2 strokes. For the parent and for the child, at the top here, it shows you how to instruct the child how to write so that they're actually doing it in a sequence that will help them remember. So like for letter K, it shows you to go down and then to go like that and like that. So my advice is for the parents to do the top box and illustrate it and demonstrate it for your child, and then let your child continue. Again, if your child is not a confident writer, I suggest you use a plastic sleeve so that they can do this activity over and over again. And that would make this workbook last a whole lot longer. Now for this page, you have a space in the middle, and it says K is 4, and it has a blank. And the idea here is that there are some images at the back of the book. These are in alphabetical order, so you just cut them. So we're looking for K. This is blank so that you can cut it out. So you cut out letter K. Ideally, you'd cut them all out and put them separately. So you have letter K, and then you stick it here. If your child is able to, well, at 3, they should be able to do some gluing. You'll ask them to glue it on. If they're able to cut in a straight line, it's even better because that's a good activity for them. It's also a fine motor skill activity. And so you get them to stick the king here, and if you can get other images, or if the child can draw other images. So this space is supposed to be a little bit more interactive for the child, and then they get some more practice. So basically you could choose to do a letter a day. So one part of the letter, and the next day maybe do this one, or do the both of them depending on the child's ability to concentrate and sit still. So this is the writing practice book. It also has numbers in here, and the numbers in terms of the word number and the new word number. So that's the writing practice book, and I really recommend this for all children 3 and up, because we need to be practicing how to write. Again, I've been asked several times, because of the post I put of Njoki, of how she's able to hold her pen and how I got her to hold her pen. So it's a tricky question because I did not really teach her. I demonstrated, and on top of that, I give her opportunities. Njoki does writing daily. What we do is I give her a notebook. She has her own notebooks. I have notebooks. I do a lot of writing. And so she observes how I write, and she has her notebook, I have my notebook, and we write at the same time. So a lot of her development in learning how to hold her pen is from observation and from practice. And the more they get to write, the more they start to understand how to control the pen so that it works better for them. So that if they're drawing a circle, they're able, if they're holding like this, might not be easy to write the letter O in a book. You might be able to do it in a big page, but they start to understand slowly that the better they control their pen, the better the grip they have on their pen, the better they are able to maneuver it to their desired end. So that's the writing practice book, which is the third element in the holiday pack. And then the fourth element is the reader basics. Now, this is really basic, and I've had some parents say, but I don't want to teach my child to read, let the teachers do that. This is so basic, it's not even at that level of nouns and all those other things. These are flashcards, are intended to be flashcards. It comes to you as a pack, like that. And the idea is for you to cut up all the elements, and I'll show you the cut up product. So it comes to you with the short vowel words. It's not arranged in order, but you'll have some sheets with the short vowel words, and the idea is for you to cut them up into flashcards, and there are lines to help you do that. So you have several of those cards. Then you have the full alphabet list, and again, the idea for you is for you to cut them up and into flashcards. Then you also have sight words. So you have sight words are basically words that a child will see over and over again in the book, and more often than not, they are words that do not follow either the phonics logic or doesn't follow grammar the way we understand it. So you have the sight words, and then you also have fruit of the spirit. And while this is a very Christian concept, these are virtues that I believe in all religions. So if you're not a Christian, maybe you can do away with that part because this is the Bible verse. But in terms of teaching our children about love, joy, and peace, I think this is a really good resource. And he has been touching this. And the fact that it has the fruits makes it more attractive to the child. So they'll enjoy learning these. These can be done as both as sight words and as a moral teaching morals or good behavior virtues. So I'll just show you now once you've done all your cutting up of your reader basics, this is the only paper that you have still in its A4 size. Everything else is cut up. So I'll just start with the alphabet flashcards. So we saw that, and you'll see they are coded in blue. So you have your alphabet, and all these, you can use this to teach your child phonics, but you do have others in the pack. So I suggest you use the ones in the flashcard pack for that, and use these for the reading basics, because you get your alphabet cards, then you get your vowel cards. And your vowel cards are coded in green just to help you find them, and the vowels are in red. So then you also get a short list of other short vowel words. I don't know whether you can see that. So that you can help your child come up with other words. And the whole idea is for you to teach them how to read using phonics, yeah? So, for example, the first word here is bed. You can't see that, but you'll be teaching a child using phonics, bed. And the aim of this card is for the parent to use what you will use in addition to these. So these are the picture flashcards, and they're coded in yellow. And basically you get things like this. So that is hat. And you'll teach your child using the phonic alphabet, hat. And as your child, depending on the level of your child, you can now ask your child to use the alphabet and vowel cards. So you ask your child, you'll either help your child find letter H from the pack, and then they find letter A from the pack, and again letter T from the pack, so that they eventually have the word hat using their cards. And it's a slow process, especially because it's beginner basics, but it's basically showing the child how we read, basically. But it's done in a very visual way. So initially, the child will be able to read the word based on the picture. Yeah, so they'll see that's hat, and they'll know that's a hat. That's the sun, and they know that's the sun. So your goal is, yes, that's the sun, but what letter is this? Sun. And so we're teaching them that we read from left to right, and how the phonics that we had been teaching them earlier now work in words. And then when you ask them to actually look for the letters, I can't go into finding all the letters. To get the letters from here and actually spell the vowels they will get from the green card, spell the word sun. I mean, the joy in the child's face when they see they can actually make it is just priceless. It's good to see. It's so empowering for kids. I've tried this with Njoki. She is 2.5, as I said. For her, it was very tricky. I had to give her all the letters. So basically, she was just putting them in order. And I guess that's a good way to start. Rather than asking the child to search through the whole pack, just pick out the letters, the S from the blue cards, the U from the green vowel cards, and the N from the alphabet pack again, and ask them to arrange or help them arrange it in order. Because again, these are both learning packs and practice packs. So if your child is already able to read short vowel words, then you can give them the whole pack and tell them, spell these words. Or if they're more developed, then you can just read for them. This is to help you come up with some words. So this is just a list of three-letter vowel words, short vowel words that they can use. So you tell your child, okay, we don't have sit in the picture cards, but you can tell your child, okay, now spell the word sit for the older ones. So don't frustrate your younger ones with such concepts. Just use these. And if your child is not ready to find the words, you can still use the flashcards as just teaching them sun. The picture that you see of the sun actually has a word that goes with it, and so that they're learning how to read that way. So this is really basic reading. So they'll be able to see that that is a tap. But then you're the one, if you're in the beginning stage, you're the one who is telling the child tap, and that's how you teach them how to read. So this is complete reader basics. So along with your pack, reader basics pack, you get flashcards. So I showed you the flashcards on A4 sheets. Your role is then to cut them up into cards, flashcards, and then choose some words at a time. Don't teach the whole pack. If your child is able to do more than one word on a day, so you could pick 2 cards. I chose if you've seen videos of Njoki doing her sight words, I chose words that I know are already in the books we are reading. So I would choose something like red. I didn't do the until much later, because that's not a concept they hear. We say it all the time, but they don't actually visualize it. I used up and jump. So things I can actually point to her and tell her up, jump, can you show me how to jump? And that's how she's learned her sight words. We haven't done the whole pack, but we've made headway, and that has been good. And then after that, the goal is, as you're reading books to your child, where you find a word that the child already knows, like when I'm reading to Njoki, if we find the word down, because she knows down, I will not read that word. So I will read, so the teddy fell and she reads down, or, the teddy jumped up, or that, so that you're encouraging them to use the words that they have seen in their sight word cards to read. And that's just helping them understand what are all these. The whole idea of learning the alphabet and phonics is just so that we can read. So the goal is to help them to read and to have comprehension as they read. So that's why some of the times when I when we do the word jump, I ask Jockey to jump. When we do up, I ask her to point up. So she's not just memorizing it. She's attaching the concept to it. So basically, it looks like a lot. Oh, there's one more. So when you get your fruits of the Spirit pack, when you cut them up, that's what they look like. So you just have peace and love and goodness and all that. And then you can explain to them what does that mean. And if you're using the Easter storybook at the same time with these flashcards, it makes sense when we start telling children that you know, God wants us to read and to read the Bible and to obey. What are we obeying Him telling us? He's telling us to have peace. He's telling us to love. He's telling us to be kind, to be good. So those are the things that at their level of 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the way they can understand Easter and the relationship with God. That there is a way that we are supposed to conduct ourselves as human beings that bring pleasure to God. And there are some things we do that displease Him. The same way they learn that they do things that displease us and we get upset, and sometimes they get disciplined for it. So I hope that you enjoy the Easter pack, that you are able to work through it. There is a little bit of prep work, but believe me, it is totally worth it in the end. Once you've done all your prep work and your child is already starting to assemble the words, you will not regret all the time it took you to cut up the cards. So I hope that you enjoy the pack, and I would love to hear your feedback on how your children are, you know, relating to the pack and what you feel can be added or removed, because we will continue to do these packs for different seasons. We did a different kind of pack for December Jamhuri Day last year, and we'll continue to do these other packs. I also welcome you to use some of our other resources. If you haven't used them, we have a curriculum for 2 to 3 year olds, which Jockey uses a lot, and it's, my battery is going off. And it's a very hands-on curriculum, and I really, really highly recommend it for your children if you have 2 to 3 or even 4 year olds. So I'll end this there before it actually goes off. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you. I'll put links in the description box for some of the posts and how you can access the materials. Thank you.